brothers and sisters. First, I want to also thank to Sam, to Selma, to Jonathan, to everyone in IJAN that helped me when I was in jail and helped me to get out, and helped Tony Greenstein, arrested before me last month, and he's still under investigation like I am. Now, I thought Tony cannot come here. It's against the bail conditions. He's sending you his greetings and his thanks for supporting him. On Monday and Tuesday, Francesca Albanese is speaking at LSE and SOAS. Please look it up. I don't have, the link here. Look it up, it's very easy. She will need support, even if you don't get in, because I'm sure there will be a lot of people trying to get in. Please support her from outside at least. They are trying to arrest her and to actually act against her family. The Israelis have been... We must support the international law that she represents. I thought, after what happened last week, that I shall try a new experiment. I will read you very briefly from Zionist papers what Zionist people write about what is happening. I don't agree with any of them, but interestingly, they support my arguments. There are 3 pieces in Haaretz, and of course there are hundreds more. The first one is called, "It is not Hamas that is collapsing, but Israel." And I can't read the whole paper, but I'll just read you 2 small parts. The war's goal, bringing Hamas to collapse and freeing all hostages by military pressure, have not been achieved. If we continue fighting in Gaza by raiding and re-raiding the same targets, not only won't we bring Hamas to collapse, but we will collapse ourselves. It's better then to be smart and take their medicine before we are sick. We must now agree to a deal to release the hostages. This may be the only way to bring them home. We must stop the war in Gaza, which may very well also bring about a cessation of fighting with Hezbollah, as well as reducing the chances for a multinational regional war for which we are entirely unprepared. This was written by Major General Itzhak Brink, one of the most important officers of the IDA. He's retired. So as you see, I don't actually agree with all he says, but he seems to agree with what I said last week. So maybe he should be arrested or proscribed. A second piece he is published in Haaretz on October the 8th, why Israel cannot hit Iran nuclear sites without sparking an all-out war in the Middle East. In recent days, former US President Donald Trump has suggested we attack Iran's nuclear facilities. My question for Trump is, why did you not attack and destroy Iran's nuclear facilities back when you were President of the United States? After all, your country's capabilities are hundreds of times greater than Israel's capabilities. You are giving us advice that you didn't dare act on yourself despite your power. These words were written, of course, before he was elected. This isn't the first time, he says, that I have written that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, now he's of course not Defense Minister anymore, and Israel Defense Forces Chief of Staff Herzl Halevi are gambling with Israel's very existence. With one unwise decision, they might well ignite a multi-front conflagration that would extend throughout the Middle East. They never think for a moment about the day after. They are disconnected from reality and exercise no judgment, and they are propelled by tailwind from many people who don't understand the situation evolving around them. When the catastrophe strikes, it will already be too late. Just as these three men evaded responsibility for the worst day in Israel's history, October the 7th, 2023, they will evade responsibility when the country collapses due to multi-front war of attrition. And the last piece, shorter, the Israeli army failed to destroy Hamas. It certainly can't defeat Hezbollah. It's written by the same general. The IDF has no way of ending its rule, even if the organization is weaker than it was in the past. The continued fighting has lost any purpose, and the war of attrition is destroying everything good about Israel, its economy, its international relations, its social resilience, and its fighters' motivation. Many reservists are refusing to be called up again and again. So this is what an Israeli general has to tell the rest of the Israelis in Hebrew. And I want to end by something from Jewish News, which is of course a Zionist publication here. For a month now, the Israeli military has deployed 50,000 troops to conduct ground operations aimed at countering Hezbollah fighters, but they have so far failed to capture even a single village in southern Lebanon. So this is an admission that was not before made. This admission was in the Israeli paper Yediot Ahronot. This is the first time that Israelis find that the war in Lebanon is not going anywhere after they found out that the war against Hamas is not going anywhere. And the last item, which I think is very funny, the publisher of Haaretz gave a talk 2 weeks ago in that's Jewish cinema in not far away, JW3. And his own paper published an article, actually published an editorial that is against what he said here. And what did he say? Israel's newspaper Haaretz has published an editorial criticizing remarks made by its own publisher, Amos Shoken, in reference to Palestinian freedom fighters at a conference in London. As a result, they published editorial against him, but also the Israeli government told Haaretz that it has no connections anymore with the paper. So they kind of exterritorialized it. Now, as Steve Jobs was known to say at the end of his speeches, just one thing. So I want to tell you just one thing. Yesterday evening, I was told by my solicitor that the police has decided to take no further action. I just want to remind you, it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about Tony. It's not about Asa. It's not about Sarah Wilkinson and the many people that are suffering from the Met. No, it's about the people of Gaza. And that is what we will continue to do, to speak about the people of Gaza. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I have to say this. It was the fastest anybody's ever heard of the CPS saying no further action. And that's because